Wisconsin Eye's 2014 election coverage is brought to you by the Wisconsin Hospital Association. For over 90 years, a valued voice for Wisconsin hospitals, supporting high-quality, high-value care in communities like yours.
Wisconsin Eye is at the Milwaukee Public Library, interviewing candidates in the 2014 elections. We're interviewing Sandy Voss. She's a Republican from the town of Richfield. She's running for the 58th Assembly District. Sandy, welcome to Wisconsin Eye.
Thank you for having me.
Just this note, Wisconsin Eye appreciates the support of the Wisconsin Hospital Association, which represents more than 139 hospitals and health systems, for making these candidate interviews possible. Sandy, we always start out this way, just a short bio and your qualifications, please.
Sure. Again, my name is Sandy Voss. I'm from Richfield. I am married for the past 13 years. I do have 5 young children. Their oldest one is 12, and the youngest, I have twins who are 6. My husband and I own Voss Insurance Group, which is an independent insurance agency, also located in Richfield. I'm also on the village board in Richfield. I'm on my second term. Twice elected. My term ends in 2015. I'd like to take some of the experience that I've gained on the local level to the state level.
What do you consider number one issue? Your handout says we'll work to reduce the state income and property tax. Did you consider that your first issue, your top priority?
Actually, top priority, many of them. Very common with, I'm sure, most of the candidates is bringing businesses to Wisconsin to help reduce our taxes here. Okay. Also, another issue that I would like to look at if I'm elected into Madison would be the heroin and drug issue. Washington County has a heroin and opiate epidemic happening right now, wow. Which is very surprising. And along with that, not only do we need to save lives, but it affects everybody in one sense or another. The drug use does lead to theft, which comes back to our pocketbooks. Increased costs in the jails and courthouses. So we need to really address that issue.
What do you think is the best way to fight that heroin abuse problem?
I think one of the biggest things is going to be education. People have to realize that it's happening. They have to realize that it's happening. It's 1 in 10 people. They have to realize that it's happening to you and me, not just, as they call them, the bums, in the streets. It's happening in our area.
Okay. Let's talk about K-12. School vouchers, school choice. Mm-hmm. They've just, in this budget, been expanded statewide. How do you feel about the option of school vouchers and school choice?
I do agree with school choice. I think it's important that parents do have choices and options for their children. Public schools might not be the best option for everybody. Private schools might not be the best option. The parents need to be able to tailor their needs towards their children's individual needs.
If you're elected, you'd be voting on the next state budget. Right now, there's a limit statewide on choice outside 2 of our largest cities. Mm-hmm. Would you vote to remove that 1,000 student limit on school choice outside Milwaukee and Racine?
And I would have to say, I know my understanding is they'd like to go statewide with it. Yes. I say take it in increments a little bit. Okay. Let's not just go all out at once in increments. I think would be the best way to handle
Another
that.
K-12 issue that's being debated in the Capitol is Common Core. Do you have a position
Correct.
On those standards?
My position would be I don't think the federal government should be mandating what we should be teaching in our schools. I think the state should have more control of that. I do believe that schools do need standards. I don't know if Common Core is the answer for that one.
Okay. Going back to your campaign materials, how would you reduce the income and property tax? Would that be a matter of reducing some state services?
I think we have to, take a look at everything very closely. Okay. I'd have to work with the budget to find out different ways. I think bringing businesses into Wisconsin is going to help all around.
Okay, question on health care. As you know, Governor Walker and the leaders of the Senate and the Assembly told the federal government, you're offering us money to expand our MA health care benefits. We're not going to take the federal money. Wise choice or not so wise choice?
I would say that would be a wise choice.
Why?
If all of a sudden the federal government decides that they can't give us that money anymore or don't, then Wisconsin's on the loop for it. How do we then come up with that shortfall? Or then we are the ones cutting services to people. I don't think we should rely on their money.
Yeah, excuse me. Transportation issues, very important to Southeast Wisconsin, the suburban and the this area. There's a projected $650 million deficit in the State Department of Transportation budget over the next 2 years of the biennium. Should we delay some of those major projects? Should we raise taxes, or how would you think we should fill that deficit?
Roads are, of course, a very common concern to everybody, especially working locally. I know the effect of roads. However, roads are very important to our economy, so we do need to look at them. I think we need to rank them in which projects need to be done, absolutely. As far as raising taxes, I would need to take a look at some different proposals that Governor Walker might have, find out which ones would be the best for everybody, the least impact on the constituents, and the best bang for our buck, should I say.
We're now getting most of our transportation money, as you know, from the gas tax and what you and I pay for license plate fees. Mm-hmm. Would you consider raising either of those?
I think, again, I'd have to look at all the options. Okay. I don't know if I'm in quite favor of the gas tax, maybe the license fees. Again, I'd have to take a look at all the proposals before I could make an educated decision.
Okay, I'm asking this of all legislative candidates, well, all candidates, including the congressional. Your reaction to Judge Crabb's ruling on same-sex marriages?
I do believe that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Okay. Two candidates for Attorney General, this is a criminal justice issue, say that first offense drunken driving should be a crime. Do you have a position on that?
I do think, unfortunately, people do make mistakes. I think what we should do is enforce the current laws, maybe increase a fee for that. However, I don't think that we should make new laws regarding that.
The minimum wage is being debated in Washington and Madison. Position on the proposals to raise it?
I do not think that we should raise the minimum wage. My thoughts is that is actually going to come in, we, the consumers, are going to be paying for that. Businesses will then have to increase their prices for their goods or their services, and consumers will be paying for that in the end.
Let's go back to the small business that you and your husband operate. What is the biggest change in policy that could be enacted to help small businesses like yours?
I would have to think about that one a little.
Any tax code reform or anything?
Not offhand.
Okay. Any other issues that I haven't asked you about that are key parts of your campaign, Sandy?
As far as if I'm looking in difference myself between the other candidates, one, I would say as a business owner, I have experience as a hardworking business owner, successful. Okay. I, again, being a twice elected official, I do know, have worked with the state government, or I'm sorry, local government, mm-hmm. And I think that gives me some more experience too than the other candidates as well.
Since you hold local office, what has been the impact of Act 10 just on the town board that you serve on? Has it had any impact?
Yes, it has had an impact, and a positive impact.
A positive impact.
Yes, the village has been able to save money.
Okay, so you support Act 10 and its legacy?
Definitely.
Okay. Any other points you want to add?
No, I think we got it covered.
Excellent. Sandy Voss is a Republican candidate in the 58th Assembly District. She's from the town of Richfield. Sandy, thanks for talking to Wisconsin Eye. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.